the show, but we've got our guest waiting now. And this is fortunate because I will appear on his show, and that's going to happen in the near future. He, of course, is Gavin McInnes, an English-born Canadian writer, actor, comedian, serial entrepreneur, and co-founder of Vice Media. He's the host of the Gavin McInnes Show on Compound Media, and of course, he's a contributor for the Rebel Media and a frequent guest on national television. He's got a far longer bio than that, but for the interest of time, that's going to do it for now. Gavin, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Good to have you on. Now, we've got Salon.com yet again, and let's start off with this. Giving a platform to their resident paedophile, Todd Nickerson. We've got on the flip side, you know, Portland College lecturing young students about how they owe black people $20 trillion in reparations for slavery. Why is the leftist media lecturing white people about how they should be ashamed to be white while telling us to be proud of pedophiles just because they haven't molested children yet?
Because their agenda here is sabotage. It started out maybe as creative destruction. Let's tear it down and then rebuild society in our own image. But now it's just, you know what, screw rebuilding. Let's just blow it up. They have no plan here. They just want to wreck our culture. And everything that you should be ashamed of, you should be proud of. And everything you should be proud of, you should be ashamed of. And I realized today, I was talking about this with Mike Cernovich, we just need to put society in a Word doc and go edit, find, replace, look up shame and pride, and just replace all. Because everything that's white male, even we had a guy here, Nick Solares in New York, he was doing restaurant reviews. He just lost his job because he may have been associating with skinheads 30 years ago when he was 18. Conversely, we have this Todd Nickerson saying, hey, don't call me a child molester. I'm only a pedophile who babysits a 5-year-old.
I mean, if you had kids, would you let him anywhere near them? And the other thing about it is, did you see the video that they used in this latest article of him? They had him describing his fantasies about this 5-year-old girl, about how he had to relieve himself in the bathroom. And the background B-roll to this footage, like a 5-year-old girl dancing and twirling around. I mean, that to me was as sick as what he was actually saying, right?
I am so glad you brought that up because I was obsessed with that too. The way they frame it, they've clearly stated their agenda, which is we understand his sexuality. There you go. Oh my God, it makes me want to vomit just to look at. He calls her precocious and independent, and we show this video of her dancing around like they're trying to convey how he would be horny for her. It's infuriating, and it really shows how far we've come. And it also shows, by the way, we started out on relatively reasonable grounds here. We started out with gays are not monsters, lesbians are not monsters. I agree. And then we started going into gay marriage, and we said, well, I don't know if Christians should have to be part of these ceremonies. And it just keeps, as the Phil Robertson from Duck Dynasty said, it keeps morphing out from there. And now we have to accept that this guy wants to prey on our daughters, but is resisting. We're supposed to give him a Purple Heart because he's resisted preying on toddlers? No.
I mean, it's an illustration, again, of how low the left sets the bar for humanity. And that video is absolutely chilling. They're basically romanticizing the lust towards a 5-year-old girl. They're not talking about it in sober terms, even if you think that's permissible in the first place. It's like this dreamy footage of a 5-year-old girl twirling around while he's talking about masturbating over her in a toilet. And they treat this as a serious social justice cause. And he's allowed to have those. He should be respectful, and he should prosper now in society because he's achieved the goal of not molesting a child. And like you said, people are being fired for having conservative political opinions at the same time. I know somebody in a top university, just found out yesterday, who was hauled into a meeting and basically threatened with being fired because he retweeted me, and he retweeted a London Telegraph article about Caitlyn Jenner. Those opinions are not permissible in today's society, yet it's permissible to lust after a 5-year-old girl.
Yeah, I saw you tweeted that, and I wasn't remotely surprised. I mean, Britain is the place where Jack Buckby of Liberty GB now was kicked out of university as a student because he dared object to a professor who sympathized with the people who decapitated Lee Rigby. He said, I don't like you glorifying these Islamic terrorists, and he was asked to leave campus. We just had a guy here, I'm not into sports, but he's an ex-pitcher who put up a Facebook meme about creeps being in your bathroom, trannies. And he's off of ESPN now for good. It really is an upside-down world. And you start looking at the data and you go, wait a minute, I'm noticing a pattern here. Everything that is depraved and wrong and sick is good, and everything that is good we should be ashamed of. White males, we built society. We separated church and state. We didn't end slavery. We didn't begin slavery. We ended it. How about
We'll be back with Gavin McInnes after the break. Stay right there, Gavin. We are back.